terms of looking at the market, so I mean, Sardor, what would you say the strengths are of the logistics markets in Uzbekistan?
I would say the strength or advantages of logistics industry is actually it's in strong economic fundamentals. What I say is that I think that during my today's speech, I would use, I think, the adjective very small, very low, very often. So because the capacity of logistics market is, I would say, extremely low. And that's where the opportunity is. The capacities are so limited, but fundamentals are strong. So as Roshan Bey said, over the past 5 years, for example, economic activities, production, exports, imports, they have surged substantially. For example, in the exports over the past 5 years, surged 40% in dollar terms. Imports more than doubled. And imagine that scale of turnover of goods and create a demand for logistics. Unfortunately, the supply is not there. And now the government realizes that, and private sector here realized that there is a big opportunity, and that's why. And on your slides, you showed that big players, private players, they started tapping that opportunity. And Roshan Bey mentioned about agriculture, fruits and vegetables. And here, if you look at the logistics, both in terms of internal trade within Uzbekistan and extraterritorial, so where Uzbekistan could be a transit hub for coming goods in, and they're going, as Roshan Bey said, from north-south and vice versa, and again west to east and east and west. So understanding is there, the will is there, and concrete initiatives and projects are there as well. And fundings are becoming available from various sources, both from public, multilateral financial institutions. They have also expressed interest in expanding the existing and building new capacities for transport and logistics infrastructure. As for example, one of the cases where usually here exporters and importers use, for example, fruits and vegetables, which make the top 5 of Uzbekistan exports. So here, almost more than 20 million tons are produced. Only 15% of them are processed, and you can imagine 30% of the crops, they are lost in the process of lacking transport and logistics infrastructure. And having admitted that problem, that's a big problem, and that is why there is, according to the new strategy for the next 5 years until 2026, the government decided to increase the capacity, the number of this logistics and refrigerator warehouses by 3-4 times, and at the same time, the government actually initiating various private sector-led or government-led initiatives for it's a new modality here of financing and then operating like under public-private partnerships. So the government supports with various and then physical infrastructure, land, and administrative support, so that private sectors could come and lease facilities or create new ones for 20-25 years. So specifically in the transport sector, because as you said, only 10% of railways electrified, and then highways, because almost 90% of our freight is done through motorways, I mean automobile transportation mode. So the billions and billions of dollars are now planned to be spent on building and modernization of existing motor highways. So again, as I said, the fundamentals are there. Again, we are launching this industry from low base. The upside potential is big. We are mindful that the several billions and billions of dollar investments would be needed to build or expand existing ones, transport and logistics infrastructure, and that's a top priority at the government level, and that's why the government is initiating these policy discussions, even at the level of specific projects with foreign governments, be them China, India, Pakistan, Iran, Afghanistan. So that's why, for example, in Afghanistan, Afghanistan was not in even top 20 foreign trading partners of Uzbekistan 5 years ago. Now it's in, I think it's in top 10 now, if I'm not mistaken, either top 6 or top 7. So foreign trade and transit with them in Afghanistan is increasing, let alone in other traditional partners like China, Russia, India, Turkey, and Kazakhstan. So yes, and then briefly saying the fundamentals are there, policy support is there, will is there. Now legal and institutional frameworks are there, and the government is supporting not only multilaterals but also welcoming, actually encouraging private investors to come and build and bring new know-how, technologies, how to run sophisticated and modern transport and logistics facilities. So briefly, Charles.
No, that's really great. Thank you, Sardor. And I think you really illustrated the point, the need for, we mentioned how much Uzbekistan exports into fruits and vegetables and how much is being wasted. It's very high statistics, it's quite shocking, and it really highlights the demand, the need for further warehousing.